Hello everyone and welcome back to Renowned Explorers, the Emperor's Challenge. So I started recording and started the episode and then realized it wasn't recording. So you missed about the first 2 minutes. All I did was I spent my research here, I unlocked the engineering tree, and then I did not have enough research left to afford this perk, 1 to 3 extra research from collect, which I'd like to get. And so what I did is I spent 2 insight on just research, which got me most of the way. And then I went into my first entourage shop and picked up Miles' Fellow Auctioneer. Doubles the original collect and treasure hunt tokens gained from insight. I'm okay not being quite to 80 here because we already have a small buff to our collect token, which does give us some amount of research. And so you can see that we do get 4 to 8 research, or 6 to 12, or 5 to 10, depending on who we're using, from spending insight on collect. So I will get the rest of the way to the 80 from this. And then I purchased 4 merchants. We already had 1. And then I purchased 4 merchants. And you're all caught up. That's all I did. I fortunately figured it out soon enough that we didn't start off the episode too far. Okay, so my thought here was that if I'm going to do an insight on collect, I should buy my helper entourages first. So I have purchased a bunch of merchants. I could buy a couple more, and I probably should, so I'm going to grab 1 more there. And there isn't one here for us to grab, but that's okay. I'm probably not going to go for any of the master specialty entourages because I'm not really interested in treasure hunts as much as I'm interested in just pure collect tokens in this case. So we'll probably pass on these. So I'm not going to level this shop up. I just don't want to waste the status on it. And I am interested in getting some of these, but they're quite expensive. We may wait on them. Going back to my first entourage shop, I did talk about grabbing either Rogue Mischief. No, he already has Mischief, right? Yeah, Rogue Surprise, in fact. Yes. Grabbing Rogue Surprise there for Harry, and then possibly a Survivalist, a Beguiler, or a Tactician for one of our members. Any one of those would be nice, but that would give us level 3 in Survivalist for Charles. And did we start him on Tactician? Yeah, he started on Tactician as well. And then a Beguiler level for Harry might be nice just because it would let him roll on more things, which is good for his Underdog perk, which, if you don't remember, grants 1 to 2 extra status per collect token every time Harry succeeds on a Rogue or Beguiler check specifically. So I'll have to decide which of those I'm more interested in. Yep. Yeah, that'll be a thing I'll have to decide at some point. But I think I'm done buying helper entourages, so let's go ahead and use our last insight that I have to use. And who is the best one to use it for here? Looks like Harry. Yeah, Harry is the best one by far. Okay. There we go then. That makes that easy. And that did give us enough for our 1 to 3 extra research from every collect token, which almost takes us to collect token master. Very, very close. That's alright, we'll get it soon enough from either Dolores winning a spin on the wheel or Harry winning a spin on the wheel. Either one of them would push that over the edge and give us our last one. Our last points from Collect Token Master will be completed on the 3rd expedition. That's saying something. I'm not quite sure what I will plan on doing after that. I guess just raking in the collect tokens and feeling good about myself, maybe. I would very much like to finish off this engineering tree at some point to unlock the secret trinket shop. That would be nice because we are going to have a good deal amount of gold, and those trinkets are pretty incredible, let's be honest. And getting them early enough for the 4th expedition might be helpful, because usually you only are able to afford them after the it will both unlock them in the research tree and afford them by the time you're about ready to go on the 5th expedition. Having them early would be very nice. Let's see what else I want to do here. Okay, let's just do our entourages. Let's figure this out. I do not want to give Diplomat etiquette, but I could give customs and let him take spotting naturally. Or I could give him Or I could give Harry Rogue Surprise. And I think I'm going to do that. Let's give Harry the Rogue perk. I think that's the right choice. His underdog perk benefits us a lot, and it makes sense to just give him that right now. And then looking at our third page here, we have Tactician Offense, Beguiler for Harry. He could take Sense of Humor, or we could give Charles Survivalist, either one, Spotting or Camping. And we will take the Customs perk there, so he won't be taking Spotting naturally. Which one do I care more about? So the whole reason I was going to give Charles a bunch of Spotting perks is because I think it might be helpful in Shangri-La. Survivalist perks, not Did I say Spotting perks? Not Spotting perks, Survivalist perks. They might be helpful in Shangri-La. Right now we have a way up the Tiger Mountain with an athlete, assuming I can get her athlete up a little higher, which we shouldn't have a problem with, hopefully, with items. We have a way through the romantic, or the Key of Love, with the Quick Thinker. And what we're missing is a way through the Cave of the Crane, which requires either an archaeologist or a naturalist, or I believe a tactician can suffice. And that's going to be our main problem. So, with that said, we may be best off making sure we have a good tactician. And so let's do that. Let's do that. And he already has defense, so he's going to learn offense. All right, there we go. Now, let's take a look at our shop. And we did unlock a new shop. This is the one that has the specialty books in it. We will want to give those to our members at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later. But let's take a look at our perk options here. Customs, we could give him the monocle for customs. He would also get the clever remarks buff there. Gain 3 speech while your current attitude is devious. For a total of 5 extra speech on the monocle, which is pretty good. And that would mean that he could take that other survivalist perk when he levels up. I'll have to consider that. It's a cheap one, 150 gold. There is a survivalist perk here and a tactician perk, which would be great for Charles since he's working on both, but he already has cooking, so he'd only benefit from that athlete perk, and only when you have 5 or more supplies, which is a little unfortunate. Rogue Bluffing could be good for Harry. He doesn't have it right now, and yeah, that could be nice. He doesn't really need this hit chance and speech chance, but, you know. Athlete Tenacious, yeah, could give that to Charles. Doesn't have any buff on it or anything. There's a Rogue Bluffing as well with a Diplomat perk, kind of interesting. Quick Thinker Reflexes, I believe Dolores already has that. Yeah, she does. So she does not need the Saw. Beguiler Astonishing could be interesting for Harry. That's not the one he has, right? No, he has Storytelling. Would give him a little extra grip, but we're not going to go full in on Beguiler for him probably at this point. So it wouldn't get as much value out of the Evasive Charm buff as we would otherwise. And a Tactician Offense, which we actually just gave to Charles. There's no reason for him to have this trinket either. Which means this shop is going to be basically entirely for the specialty books and possibly the monocle. Yeah, possibly the monocle. I'm very tempted to give him the monocle. We'll come back to that. Alright, let's take a look at our previous shop. Now, Tactician Formations would be nice for Charles. He does not have that one. And it does give adjacent allies 15% attack. Not great, but it would benefit a small amount to Harry's piercing shot whenever we decided to use that. Other than that, Beguiler Seduction and Beautiful Smile could give that to Harry. I mean, it's a very cheap way to give him 2 more levels of Beguiler, which could be great. In fact, yeah, at that price, 200 gold, there's probably no reason not to give him that. Let's do that. There we go, Beguiler level 3. That will just give him more ways to roll and more bonuses from Underdog. Let's see, what else? Diplomat Languages. I mean, we could give him Diplomat Languages. It would give him another perk there. He is sort of suffering as our diplomat, let's be honest. Yeah, he is sort of suffering there. Athlete Stamina. Well, Dolores actually doesn't have it. Now, and she chose not to learn Stamina from here, which makes sense because there's an easy item that can give it to her. So you know what? There you go. Not only that, but Terrifying Booster. All Terrifying abilities gain 10% speech power. And she has Terrify. So And Primal Roar is Terrify. This item is amazing for her, and I probably should have bought it the first time I was in the shop, but I didn't think about it. Just basically just makes her 10% stronger, and gives her athlete stamina. So, hey, that's a great decision, right? Let's see. We could always grab one of these items that would allow someone to start in a specific mindset. So, for instance, if we had another trinket slot we wanted to use, we could make sure Dolores started every battle confident by giving her the War Drums. But she's already got both her slots taken, and that's all right. We'll figure it out. Let's see. What else do we want to do here? Tactician offense. Yeah, that's not helpful. Would have been if we hadn't given him offense, but we did. Although, yeah, we did. Okay. Let's see. Still at 1,600 gold. Harry still has a slot open. There was a trinket here, the Spyglass, that would give him another rogue perk, and there's no reason not to give him that, really, except that it costs 280 gold. But we're going to want to upgrade the shop for the specialty books anyway, so might as well do that, and then we can decide on the Spyglass in a minute. And Charles, we mentioned giving the monocle to, possibly, but he can learn that naturally. But he won't get the 5-speech buff naturally. So there is logic to that. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab him the monocle. Not only does it make him a little bit stronger, but he can now use his next level up on the Survivalist Spotting perk if we would like to. And I think we probably will end up doing that. Okay. It's not ideal, but it's not a bad idea. And we are actually very close to having enough to both upgrade the shop and purchase a legendary book of some sort, which would be nice. I'd probably give it to Dolores, actually. Make her very, very strong indeed. Either that or Charles to make his Group Insult a little bit stronger. But Group Insult is a low power ability, kind of like Anna's AoE, which is also 40% of her attack power. This one's 40% of his speech power. But at least it's a larger AoE than Anna's. It's mostly probably going to be used for debuffing. And it also only gains 10% power while off cooldown with maximum of plus 30%. So even at its max power, it'll only do 70% of his speech attack, which it's a little weak. It's a little weak. Whereas Dolores's, it does 50% to start with, and then has an increase of 20 per surrounding enemy, and an additional 40 if Dolores is confident. Which right now we have no way of making her confident, but yeah. I mean, technically, and this is, one of those things, we would do more damage if we didn't give her the machete, lost that 10% buff, and gave her an item that would make her confident at the beginning of every battle, because that would give her 40% extra damage. She'd lose the stamina perk, but I wonder if that's smarter, though. We only spent 100 on the machete, so if I decide that wasn't a smart choice, and to do something else, I won't feel too bad about it. I hate to lose the stamina perk, because having a level 4 athlete at this point in the game would be very powerful, but having an extra 40% speech power on her main AoE would also be incredibly powerful. The main problem that has is that if she doesn't want to or can't use her AoE on the very first turn and she gets hit by anything, she will cease to be confident, right? So you lose that 40% speech power. It's like a one-turn buff almost. Whereas the 10% buff from the machete is permanent throughout the fight, and it has the perk on top of it. So maybe we'll stick with that for now. But let's go ahead and consider getting her a legendary book of horrors, which will increase the power of her Terrify, but not her AoE. Or alternatively, we could give the legendary book to Charles or Harry, because they don't have an AoE, at least not a speech AoE, so they don't care. And let Dolores just use the AoE on her first turn and let someone else have enough power to just knock someone right out of a fight. Currently, Charles is a little bit lower than Harry in terms of overall speech power. So there is a logic to giving it to Charles, just to put him slightly over the edge there. He also is already using the good book, so we could give the good book to Harry, which really would put him below the threshold. Sell that. We'll have to use 1 insight on collect, which we can do, no big deal, to get up to that 350 we need. And a little bit past it, in fact. Go back to our shop. Wrong shop. go back to this shop, get our legendary book of horrors. It's still horrors for Charles. Yeah, it doesn't matter what his AoE is because it doesn't apply to his AoE. It only applies to, doesn't even matter for Deride. These only apply to the basic attacks, Terrify and Try to Terrify in this case. And he does have Terrify. And we can give that to him to up his speech all the way to 57, which makes him by far the strongest person on the team. You know what? I think I'm going to give this good book to Dolores, actually. Put her up to 34 speech power, because she was really low. And we do want that AoE to be powerful. That is important. And in this case, because we're going to use her for AoE, giving her a generic book is actually better. Well, it's not better. It's the same as giving them a specialty book. So we might as well just give that to her. And we'll get Harry a horror one at some point. We could just give him a 75 gold one now, which probably is actually the better choice. Although it would be Enraged, we would want for him. Book of Rage. Yeah, let's just do that. Sure. 75 gold for Book of Rage increases his damage by 20%. Yeah, why not? Seems like the right choice. Okay, are we ready? No, we still have 381 status, and we should do something with it. Now, we've bought everything out of this, which is fine. We have a few things here for extra tokens by resolving things in certain ways. I'm going to pass on those for now. And we got our last shop here, which has a rather expensive option of 400 here. A 300 for this one, which we'll probably pass on for now. Although I could afford to upgrade and grab it. And then another 400 one back here. What from here would we even want? Beguiler Astonishing? Could be good. Diplomatic Negotiations for Charles could be very good. Athlete Tough for Dolores, yeah, she can't learn that naturally, so that would be good too. Tactician Weapons Expert could be good for Charles. So yeah, actually all of these, with the exception of the Engineer and the Archaeologist perk, are great for us. Now, General Digsby has a technical lead because he does give 0-1 research from Collect, which would help our quest up here. But as we've talked about, we're only 1 point away from finishing that quest off for good anyway. So why really worry about it, right? Let's focus on what is the best perk to have. And I am tempted to say that either the Diplomat or the Athlete perk are up there. But you know what? I think I am going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see how I feel about it. No, I'm not. I'm going to give Charles Diplomat Negotiations. I want a better Diplomat than we currently have. And I'm kind of sad that he's so bad at it right now. Although he is going to get 2 perks probably next expedition. Because, no, he cannot grab Diplomat Customs. He already has it. Never mind. He'll grab 1 from the campfire, probably. Or we could give another Beguiler perk to Harry. Yeah, let's give him Diplomat Negotiations. We'll just need to spend 1 more insight on for Harry here to get enough. And we got more than enough. No problem. Specialists. Let's grab that. This will also help with our alternate quest, of course, which is to have members of our team that know Diplomat perks. We've been kind of slacking on that, so that will complete, or at least get a little bit closer there. Actually won't complete it. Wow. Yeah, probably should try to complete it, but I don't think we have... Oh, did that complete it? Oh, that did complete it. Okay. Right, because we have, we only have 3 perks on Charles, but we do have 1 perk on Harry as well. Okay, so that makes me feel a little better. Alright, you know what? We've spent enough time on the world map, although these things are important. Let's decide where we're going to go next. We have the option of Egypt, Hungarian Fort, or Highlands, and I think I had already decided earlier when I was planning this to go to Egypt. For a couple reasons. First of all, Egypt is the one that's known for gold, which is the big part of the decision. We also have an athlete and a survivalist and a rogue, even though we don't have the archaeologist. But the other thing is that we are missing a treasure from Egypt. And in this case, I actually do know the treasure I'm missing, because I have run into it before. It's, you will occasionally run into a trader at one of the oases, and they will offer to sell you a treasure for 50 gold. And I am terrible in that I tend to spend all of my gold in the world map and not save any. But not so this time. I have 200 gold, and I remember that treasure is there. So I don't think it's cost more than 200 gold. I think it's cheaper than that. So I'm pretty sure this is more than enough. But we're gonna hope to run into that trader, and hopefully we can get an item from her that I've never gotten before. That will be cool. All right, here we go. That said, I'm missing probably at least one treasure from every expedition at this point, so that's not really a good reason to pick Egypt, but the reason I'm picking Egypt is because it is the place with all the gold tokens. That's really the reason. Oh wow, Oasis spawned right here. That's kind of unfortunate because we don't need the supplies yet, but actually, by the time we get there, we'll have used 3 just to get to the Oasis, so sure. Okay, everyone's growing weak, and they lose all hope, but Dolores has hope, and she is a level 3 athlete, more importantly, so let's go. Alright, Tactician, Beguiler, Quick Thinker. We actually technically have all of those, so let's go check it out, and we'll come down to the Oasis afterwards. One of these Egyptians is a journalist who went to cover a story in the south. Now is your chance to impress them for a good story, and we have a 99% chance from our Beguiler. And if we succeed, that will actually push our Collect Token Master over the edge as well. There we go. Impressive. Some well-placed compliments and a telling story from Harry convinces the journalist to write a big article on you. And there is our Collect Token Master indeed. The last 14 points from that. And we are totally done with that quest. That's our main quest over with. Which is kind of amazing, but also kind of terrible, because that means we're not going to get any more points from it. And we're not as ahead as I would like. As much as that gap seems, we're gonna pretty much stop earning points except for in little doses, and I'm a little concerned about that. After a while in the desert, you see an oasis. Okay, what do we find? Okay, Dolores can choose to do an activity. Okay, yeah, let's pick dates. Sure. Dolores climbs to the highest point of a date palm and starts picking. A gust of wind shakes the tree, but Dolores holds on and all the dates fell down. Enough to make some money. 6 collect, nice. And meanwhile, we also get 2 supplies. So we're back up to full, we got some collect, let's continue. And we do want to go over to these other oases, so let's head... Oh, well, they're kind of separated. Let's head this way, I guess? Maybe? Diplomat or archaeologist. We don't have an archaeologist, but we have a diplomat. Ah, hieroglyph tablet. That's going to be rough for us. And we don't want to really lose the supply, so we'll just take the tablet as something to study and move along. Nature challenge here. We don't have a naturalist, but we have the other 2. A ravine. You might find something useful at the bottom. Well, Dolores is an excellent athlete, so she can do so. And she finds some gems. Very nice. Cost of 1 supply, but got us about 8 collect, I think, there. Not bad. We are running low on supplies really quickly. Look at that. Only 3 out of 10 already. A group of scorpions are waiting in the desert for some prey. More importantly, amidst the scorpions is a bag of golden coins. Someone needs to sneak by. We have a rogue. That will be a good option. There we go. Great. Harry manages to sneak past the scorpions and fetch most of the gold before it disappears. All right. Let's keep on heading toward the oasis. We're apparently going to need those supplies. And a new epic encounter. Nice. Exploring the desert sometimes becomes easier when some set up camp while others explore the surroundings. Generally, you want to keep a tactician in camp in case someone attacks and send like survivalists and stuff out to explore. So we'll send Harry out, because our survivalist happens to be our tactician. So we'll send out Harry and Dolores and let Charles stay behind. Ah, and good job we did, because Charles actually has not only tactician perks, but he has tactician defense, which will come in very handy here. 88% chance. Ooh, little nerve-wracking there, but we got it. What a fierce defense. By using nearby rock formations and tools left behind by the crew, Charles creates a makeshift fortress. They see this is going to be a tough job, and they just leave. And then we come back with supplies. Nice. Well, not supplies. Money. That's kind of like supplies. All right, let's check out our red hill here. As you walk through the vast boring desert, you suddenly see an unusual red sandhill. All right. You make the climb to the top, where you are shocked to see a giant sunflower-like flower on top of the hill. You get a strange vibe from the flower. Let's examine it. Suddenly, the flower starts shaking heavily as you poke it, and you are swallowed by the flower. You're being pulled into the hill. Things get a bit vague now. The vine suddenly lets go, and you find yourself in some sort of organic room. The room is lit up by glowing algae. Now we can try to study it, but the longer we study it, the lower the chances that we find our way out. But we only lose 1 resolve, but we only have 3 resolve, so there is a there is some consideration there. Let's study it once and see what happens. Okay, these are no ordinary algae. They produce a nice glowing light, which make life underground possible. Cool. Charles looks around, notices some dead bodies leaning against some organic spikes. Also, these spikes are slowly closing in. The longer you stay in here, the harder it will be to escape unharmed. Okay, let's search the bodies, sure. These bodies look digested by the flower. It seems the flower eats any kind of life to survive. You find some old stuff to collect. That's probably not worth it. The spikes are getting pretty close now. Everyone is looking for a way out when Dolores spots a beautiful and probably rare orchid. What an amazing sight. Dolores wants to take it. Is it worth the danger of being digested? Sure. Dolores carefully picks up the orchid along with some earth and takes it with you. And we get the Red Hill Orchid. I've already had this treasure, but it's a cool one anyway. Picked while you were about to be digested. Two treasure hunt, or some stuff whenever we enter a nature challenge. And yeah, we enter nature challenges a lot, so we'll take extra collect whenever we do that. Alright, I'm going to use my tool here. 60% chance to find our way out without losing anything, which would be very appreciated. That's a good use of our tool. Nice, free treasure, essentially. After some intense searching, you find a weak spot and escape just in time. The only damage done is some sand in your eyes. Cool. Oh, and the crew gets lucky once again. Out of nowhere, Dolores finds a little bit of gold. Alright, we are out of supplies, or very, very close to it. Let's go try to fix that problem. An oasis, alright. Okay, and now it's Harry's turn, and he can go ahead and ask the locals, smooze the locals, try to get some supplies from them. Let's see how he does. I would really like some extra supplies. Ooh, that 1%, man, that 1%'s freaking me out. It's twice in a row that Harry's had a 99% chance and gotten very close to failing. They do give us some supplies, and a little bit of collect, I guess? Okay. 2 supplies. Not very impressive. But we do have our campfire ready. And we had talked about taking etiquette course. All crew members gain diplomat etiquette. That will really help out our diplomat team challenge. And I don't think we care that much about dodgeball. She already has reflexes, right? Yeah. And it's not even from the grappling hook, so there's no point in keeping that. We'll throw that away. I'll hold on to the other 2 right now, and we'll do etiquette course. Charles has brought a little book, Etiquette for the Uninformed. It is of great importance the crew knows how to behave if they encounter a queen or a lord. Together, the crew learns diplomacy. Harry in particular is a natural, which is made clear by his skillful use of the word poppycocks. It also makes sense because Harry already had a level in diplomat from his smoozing with Charles earlier. So, now Charles is level 4 diplomat. He's looking a lot better now, considering he was level 1 just a couple moments ago. And there's a couple points from Diplomat Team. We should be, yep, well on our way to the next level of it as well. Very nice. Now we are still very low on supplies, and I am concerned about that. I would love to get up to this oasis. Let's see if we can get there. The crew finds some materials that can be used to create helpful gear and tools, or just studied. You know what? Let's risk it. To get a tool, that would be really nice, and a 30% chance is fine with me. There's no real risk of, if we fail, we don't lose much. Okay, he just destroys the materials. So, yeah, that was a fine chance to take. Alright, diplomat or archaeologist? Hopefully a diplomat. British goons. Hello, chaps. It looks to me like you are those nosy explorers that entered Egypt a while ago. We don't take kindly to middling chaps around here. Come with us peacefully, and we won't harm you. We could just escape. Yeah, let's do that. The crew splits up and runs as fast as possible in different directions. Only Charles manages to escape. The others are taken to a British encampment in the desert. You arrive at the camp entrance. All your belongings are taken away to a prison tent. Which one of you is the leader? The boss wants to talk to you, and Dolores is going to volunteer. We are currently investigating some things in Egypt and cannot allow you to roam free, therefore we will hold you until we are done. Dolores can try to negotiate, but she's technically a diplomat because we just gave her 1 perk in it. Yeah, we could try. I mean, why not? 50% chance, or 57 or whatever it was, is pretty good. Unfortunate. The camp leader becomes irritated and calls the guards, and we get taken to the dirty cells. Very sad. Don't use violence against my men, because we'll become an enemy of the state, which is a bad idea. Let's not do that. Okay. The cell doors get opened. You hear a voice whisper, "Get out while you still can. I left some of your basic equipment in your cell. See you." Okay, I don't know what kind of accent that was, but that's the accent he had. How kind. Take your stuff and leave. As you leave the tent, you bump into Charles. Charles is about to free the rest of the crew. The others are surprised it was not Charles who saved them in the first place. Understandably. We do have a 100% chance to explore some of their tents and see what's around. Yeah, search for valuable things, sure. Many lesser treasures. Okay, 2 treasure hunt, nice. And we'll just try to sneak past the guards. There we go. Got all our stuff back, nice. There is a note with our belongings. Hello there, I hope you got out of your cells, okay? I always wanted to be an explorer of the society, but I failed the entry test in the Scottish Highlands. I joined the British Empire so I could still see some of the world, but it's just plain wrong to lock up people like yourselves. So good luck on your travels, and I left you a little something to make up for all the trouble. And we do get a free treasure, which we can't really complain about. And we'll take 2 discovery? Sure, 2 discovery. That seems very nice. Comes with a little bit of extra gold on the side. Cool. We are, again, of course, like always, low on supplies. But we are only 2 trips to this oasis, so I think we'll go ahead and take the risk and get up there. Who knows, maybe we'll run into that trader that has the treasure I'm looking for. We do take a debuff here, and Dolores loses some armor. It's not the end of the world, could be worse. Okay, there's the oasis. And what is Charles gonna do? I mean, he can try to go fishing. Yeah, let's try to go fishing. Fortunately, we did not run into the trader. We'll try again some other time. That's okay. Very nice. We did catch some fish, so we got 2 supplies. Oh, 4 supplies total, because they got 2 supplies and we got 2 supplies. The rest of the crew, I should say, is they in this context. But we are low enough that I don't really want to explore around too much more, so we should probably just head sort of toward the exit. Dolores can motivate people to go on in the desert, no problem. We lose some supplies there. Okay, let's just end it. We're losing supplies quite rapidly at this point. The Temple of War. That was kind of a short expedition, actually, but that's alright because we spent a lot of time on the world map, so maybe we'll end this episode just a little bit over time. Alright. The Chamber of War. Let's draw down some... you know what? Let's take some study, actually. I do want to finish off that engineering tech tree at some point, and we're sort of low on study for it. Fortunately, we're getting some from the collect tokens. Only those skilled in the art of war may proceed. All of a sudden, a sarcophagus bursts open. Beat me in a game of war and prove your worth. Now, we actually have a tactician and a diplomat, so let's see about negotiating. 100%. Let's do that. With an intriguing display of diplomatic skills, Charles puts the general under pressure with persuasive arguments, forcing a peace treaty from him. Very impressive. A secret door opens, and we can continue. Some paintings describing offerings to Sekhmet. We do not have an archaeologist, so we do indeed miss something here. You find a new room, sacred ground to the goddess Sekhmet. The room is lit red with the oddest light and filled with ancient treasure. And Sekhmet's incarnation, Bastet, has arrived, and we will engage her. Now, Bastet is, gets very, very angry if you are aggressive, and she tries to be very peaceful if you are peaceful. I very, very rarely have tried to deal with her in a devious manner, so I am curious to see how this goes. As it turns out, not well. She is vulnerable to enraged, which is fine, or just not vulnerable. She just takes normal damage from enraged. But she is resistant to sadness and resistant to terrified, which is fully resistant to terrified, immune to it, in fact, which is a bad sign because 2 of our 3 attacks are terrify attacks. Now, we do have an enrage, deride, and group insult, which we will take advantage of, and Harry's major devious attack is enraged. So we'll have to make sure we do this intelligently, make sure that we have those abilities up when we need them for Bastet. All right. Let's just take out some mummies that are right here. And they do have the advantage on us because they are trying to be friendly, which is good against devious. So that is also something to keep in mind. We'll see if they ever change their mood or not. I don't think they will. In my In my experience, they tend to stay either friendly or go straight to aggressive and not do devious, but I don't usually come with a devious crew, so maybe they'll surprise me. Yeah, that minus 30 speech defense there is does hurt a lot. Yeah. Oof, good miss though. I mean, it wasn't a good miss. It was good for me. It was nice that he missed. Look at that. You know what? We're gonna do it. Now that will make Sackman angry, probably. Indeed, but hopefully we can switch back to Devious this turn with a combination of Dolores using her AoE here. Nope, that won't do it apparently. Huh, okay, well, in that case, we're still going to bring Dolores up here and work on this mummy. And we should still be able to go back to Devious this turn, which hopefully will bring Sackman out of her funk. There we go. That should do it. Okay, now this of course is in a way bad because it means we do have the minus 30 speech defense still. But it could be worse, I suppose. Can we take out these two mummies at once? Maybe. Maybe. With the extra 20% from having two there, that may do it. Let's see what Harry's damage is like on Sackmet here. Wow. Look at that, enraged damage. That's pretty insane. We will do that right away. Now, Deride might finish her off. It does. Excellent. Okay, no need to worry. We didn't get Painbringer, unfortunately. Oh well. You broke your opponent's minds. Okay. Enough. It is clear I'm not yet ready to raise war and curses over your kin. I need to rest for another 4,000 years. A god defeated. All members gain speech defense permanently increased by 5. And she disappears. And we leave behind her mask, which we will take. 4 discovery is tempting. 2 to 4 gold from collect is really good, though. Yeah, we'll take that. Okay, the temple is collapsing. Let's run for it. 75% chance to get out of here. Ooh, maybe? Yep, we got it. Nice. You made it out. Just as Harry gets out of the temple with parts of the loot, the whole temple complex collapses. I should have woken up earlier to get here. Impressive work, Dolores. Who said that? Rivalo. We came here to investigate the matter of a shady group called the Anti-Explorers. They had plans to do something sinister here. Did you see anything? No, we didn't. Of course not. You're a rookie. Stupid of me to ask. However, I fear they pose a threat to all of us. Let's just leave. We're done here. Alright, so that was kind of a quick little expedition, but successful nonetheless. Yeah, hopefully we got enough study. I don't know if we did, but I'm hoping we got enough study to fill out at least some of the engineering tree. Getting all of that extra research, 94, from our collect tokens will help quite a bit. But I'm suspecting that even if we're lucky, we'll only be able to get 2 research trees. Well, with a discovery, maybe 3. Probably 2. Probably 2, though. Not research trees, research papers, I should say. Alright, Rivalo showed off with some orphanages, and we are going to show off by agreeing not to take 3-star or less expeditions. Alright, we will send a report to a city, and I'm tempted to send it to Sydney because I love the... I really like the items that the Sydney Equipment Shop has. We could also take a new Entourage Shawl, and that's probably smarter with all the status we have. Let's do that. Alright, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it. Subscribe if you want to see more in the future, and check out my Twitter for news and updates. See you next time in Renowned Explorers.